Good afternoon, welcome to the LD Nutrition Stadium. This is Rovers TV, brought to you by DJL Fencing for this pre-season friendly between Featherstone Rovers and York City Knights. Featherstone Rovers line up first of all at fullback Anthony Thackeray, on the wings Luke Briscoe and Sean Robinson, in the centre Josh Hardcastle and Gareth Gale. Standoffs are Martin Ridyard, scrum half is Tom Holmes, props Scott Wielden and Richard Moore, hooker Matty Wildy, second row Connor Farrell and John Davis, and loose forward is Brad Knowles. On the interchange for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon, Sam Brooks, Danny Maskell, Luke Cooper, Frankie Mariano, Ian Hardman and Missy Talapapa. Head coach for Featherstone Rovers is John Duffy. York City Knights lineup: fullback Ash Robson, wings Ben Cockayne and Judah Maziv, centres Jake Butler-Fleming and Brad Hay. Connor Robinson is at standoff with Brad Delaney at scrum half, props Adam Robinson and Graham Horn, at hooker Andy Ellis, second row Joe Batchelor, Sam Scott, and loose forward is Tim Spears. On the interchange for York, Harry Carter, Chris Siddons, Ronan Dixon, Jake Normington, Brad Clavering, Matt Chilton, Liam Jackson, Dan Hawksworth and Dan Douglas. Head coach is James Ford. The referee this afternoon is Elle Staveley. It's an absolutely freezing Baltic afternoon here at the LD Nutrition Stadium, but we're here up on the gantry. You'll notice we're not pitch side because it's a little bit snowy out there. So my name's Joanne Fitzpatrick. With me today are Joe Needley and Joe Crabtree. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Keeping warm up here. We're going to go for some Bovril, I think, soon, but we'll have a talk about the teams first. So for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon, we've got Ian Hardman returning for the first time in 2018, Joe.
Well, there we are, the club captain. Let's not forget, last year when Featherstone played York in that pre-season friendly, it was Ian Hardman's testimonial, so lots of happy memories for him. That was a massive occasion for him as a player, and returning to the team, obviously Anthony Thackeray's done a great job in at fullback in pre-season so far, so he's going to have something to prove when he comes on today.
It certainly is. We've got Keil Carlisle missing out today. Danny Maskell, we talked to him at the preview for this game. He was saying that his natural position is hooker and he's hoping to get some chances there during his trial period.
Well, Joe, I mean, it's a great opportunity for him as well. I mean, York City Knights are maybe a division below, but I mean, they're going to. It's going to be testing today, and of course, he plays against a former Featherstone player directly opposite in Andy Ellis as well. So, quite the experience for Maskell today, but one he'll probably relish, even in weather conditions such as this. But yeah, I think he'll do well. I think he'll impress, especially with an experienced pack to work with as well, Joe.
And it is quite a few Featherstone Rovers familiar faces in that York City Knights lineup as well, isn't there, Joe?
Yeah, definitely. It's like playing the Hunslet teams of old that always had loads of Featherstone players in the ranks. Ben Cockayne, happy memories of him back in 2011. What a spectacle he was out there on the wing for the Rovers. Former Featherstone Rovers captain Tim Spears. He's had some special moments out on that field before, cutting in a different team's colours.
Certainly is, and Ronan Dixon as well, an under-16 star from 2013. And of course, coach James Ford played here, I think, 34 games between 2003 and 2005, so it's almost like a Featherstone second team, isn't it, today? So in terms of any standout players in York, have you got any that you might be looking at, Joe?
Well, definitely, Joe. I mean, the fact is, they've signed Ben Cockayne and Jake Butler-Fleming. They've come over from Hull KR. Connor Robinson, a halfback from Halifax as well. Even Graham Horn, he's also from the Robins as well. So they're the key ones to watch today. Plenty of experience. I mean, they've been around in the professional game since the mid-2000s, some of the early 2000s as well. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'd say today, York, they're going to. I did say earlier, they're going to offer a lot today, and they are the key ones to stand out. I mean, Graham Horn against Scott Wielden, their former teammates at Hull KR, that'll be quite the battle in the pack as well. So I'd say that's the main head-to-head to watch out for. So, but either way, Joe, yeah, it should be interesting, and we should be in for some interesting rugby today, even if the weather is like this.
And here we are on Rovers TV. This is our house here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. If you haven't been able to come down to our house this afternoon, Rovers TV are doing a one-off special. We're broadcasting live. If you go to the live section on the Rovers TV website for Rovers TV subscribers, you'll be able to see, in 5 minutes time, you'll be able to see the full game exclusively live with full commentary on your live section of that Featherstone Rovers website, the Rovers TV section. So a special treat for you this afternoon. You're not just listening to us, you can also see the pictures of the players playing as well. You'll see how cold and snowy it is here. We're going to wrap up now, go get a Bovril, try and get some, and wrap up literally, try and get some warmth into our fingers and toes so that we can commentate for you this afternoon. Conditions absolutely shocking out there. Driving, sleet, snow, whatever. It's sub-zero temperatures. So join us shortly for that commentary, and lucky Rovers TV subscribers getting the full game live to watch as well. My name is Joanne Fitzpatrick, and with me here co-commentating Joe Needley and Joe Crabtree. Hi guys.
Hello Joe.
As we see the teams coming out onto the field, York City Knights first of all, led by ex-Featherstone captain Tim Spears, is now the York City Knights captain. Featherstone Rovers coming out in their alternative strip onto the field with mascots, poor little mascots lining up there in the snow. It's really, I can't explain how cold it is this afternoon here. The snow, sleet, driving rain. Should also say a good afternoon for those Rovers TV subscribers that are tuning in live, watching the pictures here this afternoon. Hope that you're enjoying it and hope that you enjoy the game as well. It looks like Featherstone Rovers are going to be playing towards the railway end, the new stand end. They will have the sleet and rain at their backs by the looks of it this afternoon, and York City Knights are going to get the game underway.
Atrocious conditions out there, Joe, and you can see how much Joe Needley's shaking to the side of me. You know, some atrocious conditions up here in the gantry and all.
Yeah, we're all shivering. It's not a good sign when you can't feel your hands and toes at the beginning of the game for us, but York City Knights are going to get the game underway. Ben Cockayne it is that kicks off there. Featherstone pick the ball with Tom Holmes, and it's driven forward, the first drive forward by Richard Moore. He plays the ball and it comes to Scott Wheeldon now. Returning into the side this week, Scott Wheeldon. Wildy in at dummy half. Brad Knowles taking the ball forward. 5 metres short of the 40. Rich Moore once again taking the drive. He takes it over the 40. He was looking to pass, but York wrapped him up. 5 metres short of halfway. Wildy kicks from dummy half. It's not the best of kicks though, and it does go into Maziv's arms gratefully, and he takes it up just short of the 40.
Playing uphill in these conditions, Joe, the kicking game's got to be massive today, and they can't afford to send it down the throat of the oncoming wingers. They'll return it, and look, you can see it there now that York City Knights just share the halfway line. Yeah,
already up to the halfway line, York City Knights. So Featherstone would have been looking. It wasn't a bad set up until the kick, and the kick just a little disappointing. So Tim Spears it is now taking it forward. It seems strange seeing him not in Featherstone Rovers colours this afternoon. Andy Ellis similarly in at dummy half. He gets it out to the right hand side, and it's taken forward there by Sam Scott.
I'll tell you something, Joe, I mean, they're really getting into them here, Featherstone there, because I mean, in wet conditions, and they turn the ball over. You could say a bit poorly did Fev from that kick, but hopefully they'll reclaim it here. Joe, come back to you.
Delaney with a decent kick, but Luke Briscoe comes in well for it and takes it. He gets tackled on his own 20.
Well, just say quickly though, Joe, I mean, as Robinson takes a good run there, I mean, yeah, I could say poor end to Featherstone's last set there, but no, I mean, they've done well in defence there to come up. Oh, and there's a big hit and a knock on, Joe.
Yeah, it was Anthony Thackeray, I think, that took the ball forward there. It was a good tackle, and the ball was dislodged, but there is an injury in that tackle. Is it Andy Ellis, I think, that's down there on the back? The physio's come on straight away to attend to him. But yeah, the tackle was effected on Anthony Thackeray, the ball was dislodged, and we're going to see a lot of that this afternoon, aren't we, with the conditions, I'd imagine.
Definitely. Cold conditions, like we say, tougher ball handling, and Yorkshire United's adapting to that perfectly. You put some big shots on, particularly some of the smaller lads, and when they're holding the ball out, looking for the pass on the outside, as Anthony Thackeray was there, it's there to be taken, and it's quite easy for them to give up possession.
It is, yeah. Just got a stoppage in play now while Andy Ellis is being looked at. Let's hope that he is okay down there. I think he must have gone into the tackle wrong. It's looking as though they're looking around his neck area. Gareth Gale out there sporting a nice orange look on his hair. I'm guessing he's lost a dice roll this week.
Well, I mean, after all, Joe, it's very nice of you to notice such things after all in a game. But yes, but going back to the hit there, I mean, Ellis taking one for his troubles there. Perhaps he got his technique a bit incorrect there. But then again, if you look at the Featherstone pack he's up against, he's going to have to expect these big hits. Because I mean, looking at them, you would say Featherstone might have the slightly bigger pack there.
Yeah, the players trying to keep warm out down there. This is the only problem, isn't it, with a stoppage? And like I say, we do wish Andy Ellis well. He's sat up, but he is going to have to leave the field. They're saying that he's not okay to continue. So quite short-lived his time on the pitch here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. He is going to have to leave for further attention. Don't know if it'll be classed as a head injury interchange, this one. I think it possibly could be. But yeah, the Carter it is that replaces him. It is hard for the players to keep warm when you have a stoppage like this, but York City Knights from that scrum then get the game back underway. They drive it in just a couple of metres short of the 30, and there's the first penalty of the game. Featherstone not clearing the ruck with Wheeldon and Moore quickly enough for Mr Staveley, and he says that's a penalty to York, and it's a quick tap. Tim Spears taking it forward.
Well, just say quickly, Joe, as Ellis was coming off the field there, I mean, he couldn't resist but have a bit of banter with the Featherstone bench beneath us. But as for the penalty, I think he got it right, as Featherstone just a bit too long, but after all, you can expect it in these conditions. But back to you now, Joe, York are on the attack.
Good drive there by Adam Robinson, but the dummy half just slips a little bit, and York are about 10 metres away from the Featherstone line, so they're getting the early pressure in this game. It comes out to the left-hand side with Ash Robson. He gets tackled about 8 metres short. York taking it forward now with Joe Batchelor. Last tackle, see what York are going to do with it. They're going to give it to that prop forward again, and he gets over. It is Andy Robinson. He did a drive before that was effective, and York not choosing to do the kick on the last. They chose the power play with Robinson, and he gets over under the sticks.
The power play is the perfect option in these conditions. You get a big forward, you get them to charge down the middle, off a second ball, and sure enough, there was no way Featherstone were going to be able to hold out such a large unit.
Well, Joe, Lars being the operative word, I must say, because I mean, he just steamrolled onto that ball, didn't he? I mean, there was no stopping him. I mean, you have to feel sorry for whoever it was. I think it was Matty Wheeldon who tried, and Thackeray. I think they were trying to tackle him. You've got to feel sorry for them too, attempting to stop him there.
Well, you won't remember, Joe, but you go back to when Featherstone were in that division. We had a large forward called a certain Mr Hanford, and he was a real handful for some teams. They often can't make the step up to championship level now as the kick's taken, and that goes between the uprights, extending York's lead further, and it's the visitors now who are in control, but they often can't quite keep up with the fitness levels that are required in the championship, but it takes so many men to get around them, and when you're short of the line like that, it can prove very dangerous.
Connor Robinson it was with that conversion. York City Knights with that early lead after only 2 minutes in the game. It is Featherstone Rovers 0, York City Knights 6, as Ridyard gets the game back underway with a long kick, and York miss it, and it's been given as a knock-on. I thought it did go behind him there.
I must say, Joe, quite controversial is that it's Connor Robinson with a knock on there. I thought for all money it just went backwards and it should have just been play on, but referee, Mr Staveley, as we keep calling him, has seen
we don't know his first name.
Well, he's seen it otherwise as Mr Staveley, so I'm not complaining. Well, we're not complaining, or we shouldn't be, because Featherstone on the attack here and can get right back into this game.
It was a high-hanging kick from Ridyard, using the conditions well. It's always a tricky one to take for any player, and Featherstone have got the scrum on the 10. It comes out to the right-hand side with Thackeray. He gets it out to Hardcastle. Hardcastle's tackled, though he's 8 metres short. Out on that right-hand flank. It's going to come back onto the left now. It's laid off and driven forward there. 5 metres out, Featherstone Rovers. Wildy in at dummy half, he shows it to Knowles but then gives it to Moore. Moore's taking it forwards towards the line.
Moore dragging so many men into the tackle. There's space out wide, but it's always going to be difficult to use that.
It's coming into the middle once again with Ridyard. He gets it to Thackeray. Thackeray puts a little kick over the top for Robinson to chase, but it's just skids away on the turf and goes dead there.
Well, there we saw the conditions coming into action from an attacking perspective for Featherstone. If the weather had been dry, they'd have shifted that out quickly and been able to make use of their wingman. As it was, there wasn't time for that. Anthony Thackeray had to go with the kicking option. Had it held up a little bit more, it was an effective play.
So York City Knights with the tap on a 20. Maziv's coming to the middle of the field. He's taking it forward for them. And now it comes to Tim Spears. 4 tacklers involved from Featherstone Rovers in that on Tim Spears. There's a try scorer, Robinson, taking it forward.
I was going to say, back in the previous tackle there, Joe Spears, ex-Featherstone, at least he hasn't had the same unfortunate outcome as Mr. Ellis, but yeah, the fact is there, I don't think he liked to scuffle with Scott Wheeldon in the tackle there, and really is getting physical now out there, even this early on.
Carter Gershom dummy half with a little scoot. Farrell's there. York bench below us thought he wasn't standing square. Referee didn't agree. It's the last tackle for York now. They're going down this right-hand side. They put the kick in. Thackeray's there to collect it on his own try line, and he takes it forward and gets tackled, gets pushed back a little bit, but he's in the field of play, a couple of metres away from his own try line.
Cockaine's a very cunning player, Joe. Shifted it into the inside. Featherstone, though, winning that penalty for offside. That's going to be crucial, piggybacking them out of that danger zone. Cockayne, though, smart play there on the right. York able to get the kick away. They could have pinned Featherstone back, but they've eased off the pressure there.
Ridyard with the kick coming towards us. It just scoots below us. I thought it was going to come into the gantry with us then, but it didn't hit the ball. Matty Wildy's going to take the tap on the Featherstone 40.
Well, we almost had a part to play in the game there, Joe, stopping the ball from going a bit of a distance. But yeah, Featherstone, they're just going to hope for a very healthy set here, because I mean, after all, York are going to get into them, well, obviously, because I mean, all the experience is there. Well, there's another penalty, so I put the mocker on them because I just say experience, but they've just given away another penalty quite foolishly, I must say.
Farrell, he was very showing his experience there. He wasn't able to get up to play the ball and looked at the referee. Referee said, yeah, they're in the ruck there, they're not clearing it. So Featherstone further metres up the field for them as Matty Wildy's going to take the tap on the 30. He gives it to Gareth Gale, sporting his orangey blonde locks.
You've got to be careful with a haircut like that, because you were asking for a big shot to be put on you.
Comes now to Brad Knowles, who spins away from the first tackler. Eventually gets put down 15 metres out. Matty Wildy waiting patiently for the ball to be played to him. He passes it out. And it comes now to John Davis. John Davis with the head guard on after he had that head injury in the Castleford game. And now it comes into Scott Wheeldon. Wheeldon lays it off again to Knowles. Knowles juggles with it and he gets it away, but it comes into a York City Knights player hand.
Well, Featherstone again had an attacking opportunity, weren't able to take advantage of it, and coughed up possession. Again, showing the impact of these conditions. You just can't emphasise it enough. It's getting even worse out there. You can see under the floodlights,
isn't it?
It's so thick.
Well, I mean, I was expecting maybe Wheeldon to put in the old big dirt argue on some of them there, but he took the option and it just didn't come off. I mean, is it really worth, well, Joe, I'll come back to you now, is it really worth risking such passes in these conditions?
Well, that's the thing, you've got to adapt to the conditions, play dry weather rugby, don't you? And Featherstone with a good defensive stint here, though. They're penning York back, they're only in their own 30, and we're well into the tackle count. I think we're on the 4th there, so, and the ball's actually come free, but Coach Culler thinks a penalty against Featherstone Rovers for ripping the ball out, or no, actually not holding down really, isn't it? The referee said, and
Matty Wildy looking to hold up the play there. Sometimes it's one of those that's smart if you get away with it. And Featherstone done so well to pin York back there. I don't think they needed that. York are taking the ball standing still. They've just not got ideas to get round this Featherstone team, and they're getting in on them in numbers.
They are, certainly indeed. And cartoon at dummy half, Robinson is ran strong for the first 8 minutes in this game, as Robinson is certainly caused an effect against the Featherstone defence. There's a loose pass there, it does go behind. York have lost a little bit of ground, but they're still running with the ball here into the middle. Scott Wheeldon makes the tackle eventually, and York are nearly up to the Featherstone 40. Well, Robinson once again taking the ball forward, and he's broken the Featherstone tackles. He's causing all sorts of problems for the Featherstone defence this afternoon, is Robinson.
Well, I must say, Joe, quickly, he's already a man of the match contender without saying. I mean, that's a good ball as well. York, they really are playing with enthusiasm and pace. I'll come back to you now, Joe, because they've got the attack. Yeah,
the kick comes through from York, but it's fielded well by Luke Briscoe, and he gets tackled 5 metres away from the try line. Any side coached by James Ford, they're always going to keep the ball alive. He's an astute coach, isn't he, Joe?
Well, yeah, you can see that York is struggling to break out from deep, but once they're in the attacking zone, they play with flair and they're open and they're brave in attack. That tells you one thing, it tells you Featherstone have got to win the territorial battle to win this game.
They have, and they need to play sensibly to the conditions. And here's a kick coming from within the 30, and as the rain hammers down even more, it must be terrible playing out in those conditions, but Maziv, he takes the ball well and he brings it up to his own 40-metre line.
I'll just say quickly, Joe, they keep kicking to Maziv out there, but I'll tell you something, you could say that's a clever play, because he's a big unit, that Maziv, so they need to keep doing that, keep kicking to him, turning him around and sapping him for a bit of energy. So, I mean, even though he's not been found guilty of a mistake yet, I'd say keep that option going.
Great tackling there by Moore and Knowles in that previous tackle. York now just over that halfway line, coming down the right hand side. The kick comes in, it's going to go into touch. Could say sensible play by Connor Robinson there as he put that kick in, because it's going to keep Featherstone penned down. The referee put the wrong arm out there for who was putting in. Eventually says it's Featherstone put in, but 15 metres away from Featherstone's own line.
Yeah, smart play from the halfback there, and I tell you what, some of those forwards will be loving being in the scrum at a time like this. It's just a time for them to huddle like penguins.
I think we might be having to have a Rovers TV crew huddle at half time.
Well, Joe, you can get my votes on that, because I mean, I've lost feeling with parts of my body at the moment. I won't say which, but
no.
I mean, we've got certain viewers listening, so I won't say which. But yes, it is getting that cold. I mean, so the players, at least they're keeping one by running around us. I think that's Talapapa taking it in.
It is, yeah. So Featherstone from that scrum, they're taking it over the 30-metre line.
Aren't you specially evolved in Hull to deal with that North Sea breeze?
Yeah.
Well, I may be a conhead, as people say it, but well, I mean, the fact is, I should be used to this year, but I'm found guilty of not preparing for it. That's why I'm guilty of being called as fair come on the attack.
Tom Holmes with a great scoop from dummy half there. He got the ball away to Richard Moore, but the York City Knights defenders were wise to it, and they get Moore to the floor. Knowles taking it forward now. He's over the York 40. Featherstone trying to make that progress up this field. The kick comes in from Holmes. It's a high one. It's a high one for Ash Robson to take, and he doesn't. John Davis is trying to chase it down, and the referee's actually given a penalty for offside against York City Knights. So Featherstone with another set of 6 to attack here.
Maziv had no other option there. He had to pounce on the ball. I think he knew he was offside, but ultimately Featherstone were going to get there if he wasn't, and Featherstone would be over for the try. Great kick though, really puts them under pressure, playing to the conditions perfectly, and Featherstone with a real opportunity now as Wheeldon takes in the first. No, York's not back on the line, so just
false start there.
Well, maybe you should re-penalise them, although there wouldn't be much point in it really, would there?
No, Wheeldon now with the ball. He's 8 metres away from that York line. What can Featherstone Rovers do here? They can knock on, they play the ball. Oh, sacrilege there on the first play.
Well, schoolboy error, Joe, you must say that. It was Scott Wheeldon who was found guilty of it. Maybe a bit too enthusiastic to get the play underway too quickly there, but no, I mean, as I say, it's these conditions you're going to play to him, and he's just been a bit too quick, I think, there.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, playing the conditions, be wise and sensible. It is 6 points to 0. York City Knights in the lead here at the LD Nutrition Stadium after 13 minutes of play. Scrum's been set, and we've got a penalty at the scrum there. Is it a differential one? It's not.
It should be a differential.
And they've taken a quick kick to the touch, and Briscoe caught it, but he actually landed in touch once he caught it. It was a strange one from York, that taking it so quickly, and the scrum's been set.
Gutting. It looked like they'd got away with it there, Rovers, and they were going to be able to go on the attack. I tell you what, Luke Briscoe taking that in from deep, you'd have fancied him to do something as well. But another scrum, you get the feeling this will be the story of the game.
So York from the scrum that gets pushed back towards his own 30-metre line there. That's good tackling. Brad Knowles in there once again with Wildy and Farrell. York with a step here.
I'll tell you something, Joe, that was very neat play there. I mean, yeah, it was the scrum half, Brad Delaney. It was very neat play there from him, and the ref. And they've undone the good work there, York. They got some momentum. Great neat play by Delaney. Then a forward pass. Yeah. I mean, from their point of view, what an anticlimax. Although we won't be complaining, must say.
Trying a little move on there where York just didn't come off. The forward pass came in, so Featherstone are going to get the scrum, and we've had quite a number of scrums so far in this game.
You can tell that this York side are really plucky, and they've got something about them. They're daring to try things, but a bit of naivety showing there, trying it in the wrong area, giving an opportunity to Featherstone. Now's the time's taken off. Just with Anthony Thackeray receiving some treatment from the physio. Some injury to his face by the looks of it. The physio's just taking a look at him. And the doctor's come on as well to have a look. Maybe he just wants to keep warm. Everyone taking some fluids on now.
His jaw.
Tell you what kind of fluid are you wanting in there?
Bovril.
Yeah, I know. Good old Bovril. Good on the terrace and great for medicinal purposes out on the field too.
Thackeray's got a jaw issue by the looks of it. He's coming over to the sidelines. I think we could be seeing Ian Hardman taking to the pitch. And we do as Thackeray comes off.
Well, our all-new captain Fantastic enters the field, Fev fans, so let's really get behind him now. It's his first game at home as captain.
John Davis now takes the ball forward. He takes it over the York 40. Matty Wildy in at dummy half. There's some more interchanges going on beneath as Luke Cooper's come on the field for Scott Wheeldon as well. So Featherstone ready to take this ball up now with Brad Knowles. That's a strong run. He pushes the first York player off.
It's a great charge. He always battles so well to get back up as well, Knowles.
And the ball's laid off to the new entrant to the field, Luke Cooper. He had a great game last week against Halifax. Wildy in at dummy half. He's running with the ball, gets it to Knowles once again, who gets tackled a couple of metres short. It's the last tackle now. Wildy in at dummy half. Out to the right-hand side, Holmes it is, gets it away, and it's to Luke Briscoe, and he puts the ball to the floor, and he surely would have been in there if he'd have caught it.
Yeah, the pass just a little behind him. You always need it perfectly placed in these conditions to take the ball. He couldn't do there, and Featherstone squandered yet another opportunity. I'll tell you something though, in that build-up play, the inside ball from Ridyard to Luke Cooper just as he'd entered the field, it was so delicate,
sublime,
beautiful to watch, and Martin Ridyard is a pleasure out on that field.
And you get the feeling that when the warmer weather comes, there'll be more opportunity to have those kind of plays.
Well, and hopefully produce more sublime play as well, Joe.
Sublime. Or for Featherstone viewers, sublime. And that's a great pushback by the Featherstone tacklers, driving York back underneath their own post. It was Maziv, that they pushed back there, and Featherstone seem to have got an intensity in their defence now.
Cooper and Davies there with a thundering tackle.
Yep, keeping York penned in their own 10-metre area in that zone.
Those two again, real work rate from the pair of them,
and York spill the ball. Richard Moore it is who picks it up. It's a free play.
From defence pays off.
Gets the ball out to Talapapa, who does a leap over Richard Moore. Looks like it was hurdling in the Grand National then.
I was going to say, Joe, that was acrobatic stuff. Not bad from an old guy, if you can call him that. I mean, I bet that really took him back to his younger days.
Wildy in at dummy half. He gets it to Cooper. as York make a double interchange as well. 10 metres out, Featherstone Rovers now. Wildy gets it into the middle to Scott Wheeldon. Wheeldon lays it off to Richard Moore, who goes on a little run towards the try line but gets hauled down just short. Wildy looking to get it out to Holmes. He does do. Comes out to Ridyard, and then it goes to Luke Briscoe, who's going to go in for the try for Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone Rovers 4, York City Knights 6.
A moment earlier, Briscoe had an opportunity on the right. It was just behind him. He couldn't take it. That time, no mistake. The Rovers shifted it wide, and it's finished perfectly.
Certainly was indeed, and Featherstone get the points on the board at last after 17 minutes of play in this game.
Well, it all came about, Joe, from the knock-on, didn't it? I mean, it gave Featherstone the momentum that they needed, and also the drop-off pass that sent Richard Moore through. I mean, you could say Richard Moore was the unsung hero and all that, because he started with the free play, got Talapapa going, then his driving just set up the momentum in York. Well, unfortunately for their case, they just didn't have an answer really there, because the defence was all over the shot, I must say, and Featherstone nicely capitalising in at the corner.
And what led up to that spill from York was that heightened intensity from the Featherstone defence, wasn't it? Getting in York's faces. They kept them penned down in their own 10-metre line, 10-metre area for quite a few tackles.
Yeah, definitely. Featherstone, they decided to get numbers in the tackle. The introduction of Cooper, I think, helped that. He really was leading in that front pack, and then Richard Moore seized on the opportunity. Talapapa trying his attempt over Beecher's Brook.
It certainly was.
Featherstone didn't squander the opportunity once they had it. They executed perfectly, and so far that's what's been missing. That's what they've been trying to get right. Eventually it clicked, and that's why they found their way over.
Ridyard's had to wait quite a while there for the kicking tee to come out to him, but eventually it does do. He's out on that right-hand side, only a few metres in from the touchline, so it's a tricky one, and especially in these conditions. Strikes the ball, and it's unsuccessful, so it's Featherstone Rovers 4, York City Knights 6, after 18 minutes of play here at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
Well, I think after such a wait there, Joe, I think Ridyard is just happy to be running again, because you don't want to stand still in these conditions, and unfortunately we've got to experience that for 18 minutes, but for there, Ridyard, I just think he might have got a bit impatient there, but he was glad to be running again.
York get the game back underway, a little bit of splash as that kick-off was taken in the centre of the field, water collecting on the pitch, and Featherstone get a penalty there. How was it? Dissent, I think the referee's actually saying. I'm not sure why a York City Knights player would have said something out of turn to the referee, but they obviously did, and he didn't like what he heard. So Featherstone going to get a spell in the York City Knights half, see if they can get another score on the board as John Davis takes it forward. He's tackled 18 metres short of the try line. I'm getting brain freeze here. Richard Moore now with the ball. He's taking it forward to the 10-metre line.
The only thing I'll say quickly, Joe, about that penalty, I mean, I don't know if whether they're asking for a little knock-on in all that, or whether he led dangerously with a forearm or something, either way, but penalty was given, and I'll come back to you now, Joe, because Fev on the attack.
Luke Cooper just a couple of metres away now, and it comes out to Tom Holmes, to John Davis. John Davis is going for the line, he's just hauled down short.
Agonisingly close for Davis.
So, ball is played, and York are in on the defence. That's good defence on the dummy half. A push Matty Wildy back, and it's the last tackle. Richard Moore at dummy half with a props pass, I think, and a delightful little kick comes from Ridyard, but it's fielded well. Is it by Ben Cockayne down there, I think, for York City Knights, and they come away with the ball.
Featherstone end it well with the kick. It's great play on that first tackle to keep York on their own line, but ultimately that set was ruined by the fourth tackle play. Wildy was found out by the York defence, and then Richard Moore could not find himself at the foot of the ruck on the fifth tackle.
No.
It means the kicker has no opportunity to get themselves set. It puts you in a position where you're receiving that pass, and it's not acceptable.
York having to kick from deep though, because Featherstone's defence was good once again. Ian Harmon with his first touch of the ball, probably with very cold fingers coming off that bench, but he takes it up to the 40-metre line. Sean Robinson in at dummy half, fancying a little bit of action as Frankie Mariano comes on the pitch for Richard Moore.
Well, I mean, Joe must say, I think I've lost count with how many players who have played. I'll mention them, Hull Kingston Rovers. I think we've lost count with how many players are out there from now that Mariano's come on. But yeah, I'll just go back to Robinson's kick there. I mean, I would say it was a bit of a panic kick, but as you just said there, it didn't really have a choice because of Featherston's strong defence. But hopefully now we can capitalise again as we're back on the attack here. Yeah.
Wildy from dummy half, he gets it to Hardman. Hardman 10 metres out. It is the last tackle now. Wildy waiting once again. He goes out to that right-hand side to Tom Holmes. Brings it to Hardcastle, who takes it forward. It's the last tackle, though. He gets tackled with the ball, so it is going to be a turnover, and York will get possession a couple of metres out from their own try line.
Good option from Hardcastle, though. He shapes inside to Mariano, then keeps the ball himself, gets Featherstone just yards short of the line. They're able to now put on another great defensive effort. 3 men in the tackle there, and York not made any metres through Massive.
And York have been struggling to get out of their own 10-metre area, and as we're seeing again, Featherstone with the pushing the York player back. They're really getting up into York's faces in the defensive efforts.
One Out Rugby just won't find a way through this Featherstone line. That's why it's only when York are in Featherstone's danger area and they're able to play expansive rugby that they're finding a way through them.
So they're just up towards the 20-metre line and the kick's going to come in. Robinson has come deep, but it's actually a really good kick to Cockayne. Robinson's in on Cockayne though, and the ball's spilt by Cockayne. It goes backward, and I think York are asking for it to go back to 1, but the referee says no. He's actually signalled a knock on.
What?
Put into Featherstone. Should that not be a turnover because it was the last?
Well, I think then...
Or was it the last? It might have been the 4th they kicked on, actually. I'm not sure.
What it might give you, because Missy Talapapa got a foot or two to that. If York would have picked that up cleanly, it would have been all on. So I think that's why he's giving the scrum, because it wiped the tackle count clean, because Talapapa got a boot to it. But yeah, Robinson, well done for his big hit on Cockayne there, because I mean it was an inventive little kick actually by Robinson, because just thought going for distance didn't work out for him last time, so go a bit short, and York could have been away hit down here as Sam Brooks warms up to come on. But yeah, as Fev come on back on the attack now, hopefully can capitalise on such a knock on.
Sean Robinson, Connor Robinson had and Adam Robinson, there's too many Robinsons. Adam Robinson had noticed that Sean Robinson had gone back quite deep there, and that's why he put the short kick into Ben Cockayne. And like you say, we've got Danny Maskell and Sam Brooks going to enter the field. I'm presuming perhaps on Matty Wildy and I don't know, one of the props, perhaps Scott Wheeldon, will be taking a rest, but they're not coming on just yet. They're just waiting patiently on the sidelines.
That many Robinsons out there, it feels like Wimbledon. Can someone put the roof on?
I wish they could. Oh, if we had a retractable roof, it'd be lovely. Nice and cosy.
Volunteers get on it, see if Scarborough can attend us one.
Right, York have had a man being attended to in back play. That's why we've had the stoppage, and he's actually left the field now. So Normington it is that comes on for York City Knights as a replacement. Ridyard still waiting to put this ball in 20 metres away from that York line.
That shirt won't be white for long.
Ridyard puts the ball into the scrum. It comes out the back with Wilder. He gets it to Holmes. Holmes shows it and then eventually gives it to Josh Hardcastle. He has 3 York City Knights. Now the interchange takes place. It's actually Brad Knowles and Matty Wildy coming off for Brooks and Maskell to replace them. John Davis slipped into that tackle there. Gets up gingerly. Ridyard with the ball lays it off to Luke Cooper, who takes it over the 10-metre line. Danny Maskell in at hooker for Wildy. He's in at dummy half. Gets it out to Holmes.
Well, says quickly, Joe, that could have been a shoulder charge on us, but it's been waved away as play goes on.
Maskell was clattered off the ball after he'd passed it. John Davis in at dummy half. He takes it forward. Featherstone a couple of metres out. It is the last tackle. Maskell gets it to Holmes. Holmes puts a little grubber kick in, and York just about deal with it. Kick it dead, and it's going to be a dropout.
Yeah, very good pressure there by Ridyard, and that's what I like it. A little delicate grubber kick like that really is playing to the conditions, and it forced Ash Robson to kick the ball dead, because he was gambling that it was going to go dead, but always in these conditions it's going to hold up. So well done to him as York drop out and Featherstone come on another attack, Joe.
Yeah, the dropout comes, and Frankie Mariano it is who takes it forward. He takes it over the 30-metre line. Maskell waiting at dummy half. He's going to pass it out to... I thought he was going to pass it to John Davies. He dummied me. He's actually passed it to Sam Brooks. He takes it over that 20-metre line. Maskell. Now there's a loose pass though there to Luke Cooper. It didn't really go to anybody, and Cooper tried to trap it with his foot. So not the best of passes from dummy half there, and York come up with the ball.
No, and there are going to be issues in attack today, but it's about that response in defence, and we're already seeing that from the Rovers. It's what it's going to be about today. You've got to accept it's not going to be a day for set completion. It's about kicking early when you're in deep and playing it up there, and which at the moment is what Featherstone are doing.
15 minutes to half time. It is Featherstone Rovers 4, York City Knights 6 in this pre-season friendly, the third of 4. Got Leeds Rhinos on Friday night, don't forget.
Yeah, which we are hoping could be a slightly bit warmer, but I won't put my house on that one.
Going to buy some thermal socks. It's York City Knights last tackle, so the kick comes in. It doesn't go very far, and Ridyard's under it, juggles with it in mid-air, but finally recaptures it, goes to the floor, gets back up again. He's got 5 York City Knights players facing him there though, and gets pushed as he tries to play the ball, but no penalty forthcoming. Luke Briscoe taking it forward now.
Good awareness from Ridyard there to plug the gap like a... I really can't talk with my tongue completely frozen. Like a sweeper. Drop behind the line.
Almost an obstruction there. Ian Harmon getting in the way a little bit, and eventually he was trying desperately to get out of the way, and the referee was wavering whether to give a penalty. He didn't give one.
It's a case of, was the player obstructed? Would the player have been able to get to him? Probably not on the balance of it. It was borderline though. It
was borderline. It's the last tackle, and a bit of a mistake from Featherstone Rovers. Ridyard not able to take the ball from the pass, and he knocks it forward to Luke Cooper, and the referee says it's a turnover.
Well, perhaps maybe as a great man has once said before, I mean, those last 2 tackles were feathers, and you could say it was a schmozzle, because I mean the obstruction there proved quite controversial, and as well as at the forward back, as the ball went to Luke Cooper, it should have gone to Ridyard or Hose, but sadly it wasn't the case, and they've turned over possession just in York's half, which, well, I must say, Joe, I mean, rather poor, another poor end to the set there for Fev, to be honest.
Yeah, completion rate not fantastic. You're not going to expect it in conditions like this, but some of them are unforced errors as well, let's say.
Skill set's undoubtedly going to be an issue out there. Decision making shouldn't be, and at points Featherstone are getting that wrong.
Yeah, I completely agree. So York just over the Featherstone 40. It seems a while since they've been down in this area of the Featherstone Rovers half. Last tackle it is, a couple of metres short of the 30-metre line. No doubt the kick will come in. It comes from Robinson, and again he puts a high one. It's a good kick, and it bounces on the floor, but it does bounce kindly for Briscoe to take, and there's something gone on there because the touch judge has put his flag up, and the crowd over on that far side didn't like the attention that Luke Briscoe received.
Well, I think it might have been a third effort in the tackle there, which has been outlawed in Australia, so I mean, I think he might have been led a bit dangerously there, because I mean there could have been a forearm charge or something, or might have been head-high tackle.
That's what he's signalling, his head-high tackle is the referee.
A late one coming in there, Joe. I mean, but it's silly play both sides, because I mean that was silly by York, because it was a very good kick, I thought. Then they had Featherstone penned down in their own danger zone, but now 30 metres piggybacked up the field.
Danny Maskell's going to take the tap 45 metres away from that York line, so they're just inside the half. Hardcastle drives it up first.
It's a great leg drive, keeps going, does Hardcastle, gives Featherstone good field position now to mount this attack.
So Featherstone taking it forward now with Brooks. Brooks gets it to Cooper. We see that a lot since John Duffy's taken over, the passing between prop forwards.
Yeah, it gives them options, and it really makes the defenders have to go at them one-to-one.
Brooks once again with the ball, and eventually it comes to Talapapa. York players are wise to it, and they tackle Talapapa. He's 20 metres out. Brooks take it forward again. Seen a lot of the action in this set of 6. That's a great drive forward from Sam Brooks. He gets tackled about 8 metres out away from that York line. Maskell now to Holmes. Holmes to Hardman. Hardman kicks the ball along the floor. I think he actually dropped it though, so the referee says it's a scrum to York Knights, 10 metres away from their own line.
I must say there, Joe, I mean, another poor end to the set there, but even the tackle before that, they actually worked up an overlap there, did Featherstone, but the pass to Talapapa, it was completely telegraphed, I thought, because York were all lined up for it. Maybe he should have looked towards the wing, and I'd have said maybe even a little grubber kick for Robinson to chase. I mean, test Ben Cockayne and his pace as well, but sadly it wasn't the case, and they've squandered possession again. 10
minutes to half-time.
I do think sometimes it's harder for them to use the options and off-the-cuff plays in weather like this. If you've set a play, you've kind of got to stick to it.
3 players return back to the field for York Knights. That man Robinson's one of them, the one who caused so many problems with his blistering runs in the opening exchanges in this game. So York have lost the ball in the tackle, but referee says it was interference, so they get the penalty.
Yeah, York looking to get a bit of a roll on down the middle. Those starters coming back onto the field, giving the team a little boost, you can see, and some of those big units in particular, that they're players made for conditions like this. That's why you'd rather play Toulouse than Batley in weather like this.
This is true. So the ball's driven forward over the Featherstone 40.
I was going to say, they're not like, they're all offside there, and it's silly play again there. Featherstone, I think they're just getting a bit rattled here, because I mean, York, they really are throwing a lot of resistance here, but then again, let's not forget, this is one of the very few sides that have defeated the all-new Toronto Wolfpack as well, so you've got to expect a tough test, and that's certainly what York are delivering here today, as they come on the attack again, Joe.
Tim Spears it was that took it up to the Featherstone 20. It's coming out to this right-hand side, they're moving it along the line of York. Talapapa in on the tackle on Ash Robson. It comes back now with Delaney.
Featherstone have got wise now to Adam Robinson. 3 men in the tackle there, and then a 4th coming in, stopping him in his tracks.
Coming down this right-hand side, the kick comes in. It's a good kick, but Hardman coolly shadows it and shepherds it and watches it go dead. So Featherstone get the 20-metre tap and the luxury of 7 tackles.
Experienced fullback play there from Hardman. Real composure to watch the ball out when others would have made contact, would have made a play, but it's earned Featherstone that tap on the 20.
Well, you got to say, Joe, it was a captain's knock as well as Hardman, the coolest customer in the LD Nutrition Stadium there, so well done to him.
I don't know, I'm pretty cold at the moment.
Hi, me too. I think it's Sean Robinson there that's taking the ball forward over the 40.
Maskell now ordering the troops about getting his opportunity at acting half-back. He's got this game and the Leeds game left to impress.
He has, like I say, we were talking to him in training on Tuesday night this week, and he was desperate to be able to show what he'd got at the hooking spot. And he certainly is. He's coming from dummy half and he's scooting himself forward, makes a good 10 metres.
Finds his front as well, getting this quick play, but we've got Wheelder at the foot of the ruck. We need to stop Iron Props on the last. Holmes is able to take it round his knees, does get a neat kick into that bottom corner, slid out to touch from York. So Featherstone, they're going to have a scrum on the 10 metres, and it's come out all right for them, that last play.
I think it could have been Ridyard actually that was scooting from acting half there.
Yeah, probably was, I think, there as well. But but very good play that by Featherstone. Tom Holmes with the delicate little kick there, but we keep asking the question, can they capitalise, Joe? Can they do it here?
Certainly can, so let's see what goes on here. As the ball's put into the scrum by Featherstone, and it comes out to Ridyard. Ridyard gets it to Talapapa, but a couple of York players in there, including the scrum half Delaney with his red scrum cap on. Maskell once again getting in the action, trying to get rid of the York players, and referee says they didn't move away from the ruck quickly enough. The penalty goes to Featherstone, and they're going to get another set of 6 on that York line. Brooks now taking it forward. He's about 5 metres short of that York line. They'll be desperate to get over Will Featherstone here. It comes to Ridyard, but that's a great tackle on him there. Can't quite see the York player who did it, but it was read the play really, really well. Maskell to Cooper. Cooper gets felled 5 metres out. Play's going to come down this left-hand side with Ridyard. He puts a little kick in, but York, again, wise to it.
Great recovery there from Maskell.
Yeah.
York favourites every single time to latch hold of that ball and go down the other field, but that recovery came from nowhere. Who knew we had such a response in him?
Yeah, it certainly was. Maskell now to Ridyard. Ridyard showing it, gets it to Holmes. Holmes drops his shoulder a little bit, comes to Harman. Harman drops the ball once again out on that right-hand side. It is a knock-on. Referee says it was patted back.
Yeah, the knock-on awarded, so it was back to 0 for the Rovers, but then they got no advantage from there. The scrum's awarded, and Featherstone with another opportunity. All the tackles in the back, and I tell you what, once Maskell picked up the ball there, I think they got a bit of confidence in them. They were ready to go again.
Well, they were. I mean, it was a fantastic play, I'll say, there, because they had the overlap. It was a try saver from Mazeev, intercepting Hardman's attempted pass, because Luke Briscoe would have had a walking second try there. But as Featherstone come back on the attack once again, can they get the lead here? Oh, well, I don't know about that, because there's a knock on, and never mind, I put the mocker on them. My apologies, everyone.
Talapapa it was with the knock on. On the first play, it came out to him and just couldn't take the ball cleanly. Not really under a great deal of pressure, was he, Joe?
Ridyard taking the ball into the line, which is going to be very effective for the Rovers this season, but it just gave Talapapa that bit less time. Ultimately, it's his responsibility to keep hold of the ball, but if he's got it from deeper, he has more time to take it in. With that limited amount, once the tackle came in on him, he just didn't keep a hold of it the way he should have, and it is always going to be difficult out there today, but it's not something we want to see on the first tackle.
No, Featherstone Rovers 4, York City Knights 6, 5.5 minutes remaining to the half-time interval. These players must be ready to get in for a warm, I think, at half-time.
Well, I don't know about them, but I certainly am, and I think, all three of us here certainly are. But Featherstone, there's a knock-on, and they're coming back on the free play, Joe.
Free play, and Tom Holmes it is who's going down that right-hand side. He's 5 metres out. The referee wipes the tackle count clean because Featherstone have come up with possession after York spilled the ball. Hardcastle in at dummy half. It comes out to Sam Brooks. Featherstone losing a little bit of momentum there. York tackle Sam Brooks, and he's 15 metres away from the line. Maskell to Ridyard. Ridyard shows the ball, and eventually it comes out to left-hand side, and it's a diving take by Featherstone. It's not the best play. I think it was Ian Harman who ended up taking it. Talapapa in at dummy half to Ridyard. And it comes now to Luke Cooper, 10 metres out.
Taking too much of the ball, stood. Great dive from Ian Harman there to take the ball low. York Knights with a player down though here.
I think we've had a head clash perhaps between Cooper and the York player. You could hear him yelp out from up here in the gantry, and he's rolling around in pain. I think he really copped one there, so there's going to be a stoppage just while he gets some attention from the physiotherapist.
Featherstone need to make sure that they're the team that stay composed now in this situation. Not long left in the half. They've got a good opportunity to retake the lead here. Just 10 shy of the line, and there could be quite a lengthy stoppage here, unfortunately.
They could, like I say, it's the physio's kind of keeping the player still on the floor. Can't quite see what's happening. I think it's a head injury, certainly. Doctor's on the field just to attend as well.
Yeah, he has been able to lift himself off the floor slightly, which is a positive sign, because then you're looking at it not being anything spinal, no kind of neck injury. It looks like it's going to be a concussion that they're looking at.
Luke Cooper doing his leg exercises out there, trying to keep warm. It was him that was involved in the tackle with the York player who ended up with the injury, and is wiping the ball with a towel now as well.
Well, they all are down to our left-hand side, Talapapa and Connor Farrell trying to keep moving. Look, Farrell's even gone to the trouble of jogging as well. So,
well, I'm doing my leg exercise up here at Gantry as well. Thankfully, you're not filming it, but certainly doing a few stretches.
We owe our cameraman Jamie to that. He's not turning the camera on to film. We owe him big for that one, don't we?
We do. I don't think it'd be the best of sights, but it's keeping me warm.
Well, I mean, as the players been stopped, so just over 4.5 minutes to go to the half-time whistle here. But yeah, I mean, we expect this, and there might be even more of these conditions on Friday night when the Leeds Rhinos come to town as well. But yeah, as long as Featherstone just see out this first half, even if they go behind, not the end of the world. It's a very close game, and it could all change second half. And hopefully, Jersey, you were reiterated to earlier, you went and said that when the weather conditions are better, maybe more of our attacks can be seen for real.
Yeah, the Leeds Rhinos game is on Friday night. Come down to the LD Nutrition Stadium to watch that. That certainly won't be streamed live video on Rovers TV. Just to reiterate, it is a one-off. Is this afternoon for you lucky people? So Featherstone Rovers will be looking to restart the game. The York player is certainly, his concussion, he's got the old jelly legs out there as he tried to stand to his feet. Not sure if he'll be able to walk off, definitely not unaided. He's getting the support there of the doctor and the physio as he comes off the field. I can't quite see who it is, can you at all? Any of you co-commentators?
Nah, it's just the case of all those York players are completely covered in mud. They look identical at the moment.
Well, the replacement is Chris Siddons that's going to be coming on the pitch. Might be able to see when he walks behind us, unless he's going to go straight into the dressing room. So Luke Cooper it is that's going to play the ball. 10 metres away from that line, it comes out to the left to Ridyard. Ridyard's in a bit of space, he gets the ball to Connor Farrell. He's driving for that line. I think he may have got over for the try. The referee has confirmed it is a try for Connor Farrell there and Featherstone Rovers. That takes them into the lead for the first time in this game, 8 points to 6.
A short stoppage in the action, but Martin Ridyard's game had no stoppage. His brain kept clocking away. He was assessing that York Knights line and moved it over to the left. Had Farrell just on the outside of him to hit that ball at pace. Get Rovers in the lead.
I'll just touch up on that as well, Joe. I mean, Connor Farrell, he just can't stop scoring for Featherstone at the moment, can he? I mean, the try against Castleford Tigers, a try here as well, so already proven to be, he's already shown his worth in Featherstone colours, and perhaps earning the starting 13 shirt that he has there, the number 11, perhaps he really is living up to that shirt as Ridyard steps up to kick.
He had a good game as well against Halifax last week, did Connor Farrell, probably the best game I've seen him in Featherstone Rovers colours, so Ridyard just in from the left-hand side, strikes the ball. It looks as though it's good, this one, and it certainly is. A great conversion by him there. As the half-time whistle is sounded, Featherstone Rovers go into that half-time interval leading by 10 points to 6. It was York that got on that score sheet first, with Robinson getting that try from under the sticks, and it was Adam Robinson, the prop there, Connor Robinson it was that converted. Featherstone waited until 17 minutes and they got on the score sheet with that Luke Briscoe try, and then had to wait just before half time with Connor Farrell try and Ridyard converted. So sum up the first half there, Joe.
Well, I'll tell you something, it was summed up right at the end there, because I've never seen a group of players run off the field so fast to get in the dressing rooms. It was a case of Featherstone dominating, playing it up in York's half. You can see that from the mud tracks on the pitch. It's been all up that end of the field, and
you're right, yes.
The kicking game's been good. Featherstone's defensive effort has been unreal. The way they've contained York, the only way they've ever been able to get out has been through penalties, and at times discipline has been a problem. Featherstone though just couldn't execute early in the half. They had all the opportunities, but again and again they were squandered. Sometimes the skill set was held up by the conditions, sometimes it was poor decision making. Eventually it started to click a little bit more towards the end. They started to make the right decisions, and yeah, there was still some drop balls, still some lack of set completion. You'd expect that, but they took advantage more.
They certainly did. Do you think in the second half we might see a little bit of difference with Featherstone going down the slope towards Post Office Road and perhaps York getting tired?
Well, Joe, I mean, I'll say this as well, perhaps, because you can tell even there at the end of the half, you can tell the fatigue factor, because York is starting to drop like flies. I mean, they've lost 2 players now to serious head injuries, so But yeah, and the way Featherstone there, they tied him out there. Connor Farrell, the way his technique of getting over the line, they just fell off him, and just even though they did try, they just fell off him. He managed to get the ball down in the end quite effortlessly, I'll say. So yeah, second half, I think Featherstone, the floodgates might open up, as we might say, and they could really inflict quite a heavy score here. We hope so, even in these weather conditions, but it's easily possible.
Welcome back to the LD Nutrition Stadium and Rovers TV, brought to you by DJL Fencing. Commentators this afternoon, Joanne Fitzpatrick, Joe Needley and Joe Crabtree. Just entering into the second half, waiting for the teams to come back out onto the pitch. It is at half-time, Featherstone Rovers 10, York City Knights 6. That's the score. It was a close first half between these two teams. Ian Hartman, Tim Spears coming out first to the dressing room. They're old friends from the Featherstone Rovers days, from Tim Spears' Featherstone Rovers days, should I say. Percy's out there. He's drumming up the support from these brave people that have come out in the elements this afternoon. The sleet, snow, rain, whatever it is still driving down. It will be in Featherstone's faces in this second half. But the bonus for them is that they will be going down the slope. York had 2 injuries in that first half. Andy Ellis came off with a head injury very early on. We've not seen the return of him, and it doesn't look like we will. And then another York player with another head injury just before half-time. So they've lost a couple of players. Ridyard dancing around waiting for the tee to come on to kick off.
Yeah, those players have just come out of the warm, and I tell you what, it'll hit them even harder. I'd like to be in all that fur like Percy, though. Envious of him.
Yeah, it's not so good in the middle of summer, but yeah, on a day like this, I'd like a fursuit on as well, to be honest. So Ridyard is going to get this second half underway. He kicks off. It's a great kick-off because it's gone into space, and Featherstone are chasing it, and York spill the ball. Featherstone come up with it.
Well, that's ideal start for Featherstone. They put that kick in the perfect area. It's in between the lines, and York unable to take it. They've got a real opportunity to strike first.
So the scrum is going to be set on the 20-metre line, and comes out the back. It's a loose pass though, and Hardcastle's unable to pick it up, and it's a knock-on by Featherstone, so a scrum to York. That was short-lived, wasn't it, that Featherstone attack?
Well, it definitely was. I mean, I thought we did very well from the kick-off, but then all of a sudden it's a knock-on in return. So the conditions really playing their part here. But yet again, it's like, should Featherstone be should they be throwing the ball about as such? But you've got to ask that question as York come out back on the attack. I mean, they've really just got to play not dumb rugby, I'll have to say. They've just got to stop risking this ball and throwing it around as York come back on the attack now, Joe.
Featherstone 3 tacklers in there, and York actually moved off the mark, and referee's not picked anything up. So Featherstone tackling York. They're just short of the 40-metre line. They're coming down this left-hand side, and the kick comes in from Robinson. He's going for a 40-20, was he there? I think he's got it.
Yeah, I think it was inside the 40. Yeah, it's a 40-20. It's a brilliant kick from Connor Robinson there. Previously with Halifax and Hull KR, now with York, and I mean, he's only 23 years old, this kid, but he's done very well there. And as York come back on the attack and look for a way back into this game and perhaps regain the lead.
Fantastic play by Connor Robinson. So they get the tap from that 40-20, and Delaney gets the ball out to that right-hand side, York, but Featherstone line is facing up to them. They're running backwards and forwards across that Featherstone defensive line, and eventually they put a kick in for Luke Briscoe to chase, and Maziv. Briscoe kicks it dead, so it's going to be a dropout.
Well, that's a good end to the set from York, forcing Briscoe to kick the ball dead there, but great sliding defence from the Rovers, making sure that the kick was the only option they had. You thought York moving the ball across there might have been able to find an opening, but Featherstone were wise to it.
And it was quite early in the tackle count, was that kick, wasn't it, as well? The dropout doesn't go very deep. It goes out wide to the York left-hand side.
Well, tactics came into play there, Joe. I think they're either looking for the touchline or looking for perhaps hunting the mistake as well. I mean, that was a completely tactical dropout, that, but sadly it's not come to pass as this big unit Robinson takes it in now, and as York continue to get back into the game.
Adam Robinson it is who gets to his feet and plays the ball. It's coming out with Delaney. Delaney puts a little kick through, but Featherstone are wise to it, pick it up and manage to stay in the field of play.
York, of course, played so much of their time coming out from this end of the field in that first half. It's really churned up the turf. It's making it even more difficult now for Featherstone to come out of there.
Do you think that's why York are putting some little grubber kicks in around that area?
Definitely, they're taking advantage of it. There's going to be some unpredictable bounces, and it's just not going to come up clean for Featherstone.
Well, I must say there, Joe, I think that's what Featherstone, it is clever play by York, and that is what Featherstone should have tried first half. I mean, because instead of throwing the ball around, it's putting these little kicks and test the speed of the wingers and tire players out, because, I mean, they're struggling to get involved in the game, getting hold of the ball. So let's involve them, let's really tire them out a bit. So York don't have that extra excess energy there as they kick the ball downfield.
It was a good defensive stint by York that kept Featherstone in their own half. The kick came through, Mazeev has picked it up and he's dragged back by the Featherstone chasers back over his own 30-metre line. So a good kick chase from Featherstone there when they were penned in their own half.
Mazeev driven back there by the defence, his foot digging into the turf like an anchor on a ship. It really is appalling conditions out there.
It is appalling, it certainly is. I know we keep going on about it. Can't explain enough how bad the conditions are this afternoon. I think we've just got soft with summer rugby as well, but here's Robinson, Connor Robinson with that kick once again from the 30. It's a great deep kick, goes behind Luke Briscoe. He has to track back to pick it up near his own line and then bring it forward to the on-chasing York players.
York kicking game's been great, particularly at the start of this second half. Got them out of jail plenty of times, and in that first half when Featherstone were pinning them back, they never had a short distance to cover. If York were able to complete the set, get to that kick.
Great run forward by Sean Robinson there, making precious metres forward for Featherstone Rovers. Ian Harmon it is who now has the ball, taking it up towards that halfway line.
Well, quite the recovery set this from Featherstone, that following Robinson's very deep kick, and further really, because now they've got a penalty for markers not squared, Joe.
It is, and that's a reward for Featherstone's determination in that attacking play. So Featherstone going to get this penalty on the York 40. Matty Wilde is with the ball in hand, he's returned to the field. Just as that's announced on the stadium announcer as well about Matty Wilde's return. He waits once again, gets the ball to Cooper, who drives it forward down the centre of the field. Great leg drive from Cooper. He takes it 15 metres away from that York line. Coming out now to Holmes. It goes over the top of the Featherstone player, and there's a little bit of a mess as the ball's lost and York come up with possession there.
Featherstone just couldn't keep hold of it there as they shifted it out wide. It's really coming down out there now, and York looking to escape down the middle of that. Could have been a clothesline from Brooks. Certainly some of the York fans are thinking that.
Yeah, a few profanities down there. I think he might have grabbed him by the collar in Sam Brooks's defence, and also I think that's what the referee agreed with as well. So York about 15 metres away from that halfway line. That's a fantastic hit from the Featherstone defence. Luke Cooper, one of those, with Matty Wilde and Sam Brooks.
Well, that really brings back the biff there, Joe. I mean, it's an awesome play there, and the kick comes in again. Featherstone, they've got to do a lot to bring it back, as Hardman does, but yeah, that was really bring back the biff stuff there. And it goes back to the olden days when it was a winter sport and you had hits like that as well.
They did, and I think from looking at the York players this afternoon, in this second half, they seem to be deploying this Connor Robinson kick deep into the Featherstone territory, don't they, Joe?
Yeah, Robinson's kicking game's been particularly effective. Like we say, he's got them out of jail plenty of times, and he's finding the turf every time, making sure he's turning Briscoe. And the Featherstone backline aren't able to do that great kick returning that's put them on the front foot in so many of their other games.
Scott Wheeldon's come back onto the field for Luke Cooper as Featherstone Rovers on the attack now with Tom Holmes. It's passed into the York players' hands though.
Delaney's come away with it there. Ridyard just looked to find Farrell on his outside with the short ball, but Delaney somehow scrambled the ball back for York. They're now just shy of the halfway line with a great opportunity.
Featherstone attacking plays just breaking down at key moments at the moment, and just not able to take advantage of when they get a little bit of impetus with the ball in hand, as York play the ball 5 metres short of halfway, and it's coming down this left hand side. Luke Briscoe with a good tackle there on Brad Hay.
Well, we'll go back to that play, Joe. I mean, Featherstone. I think that's going to be a knock on by Graham Horn, and it is. But she's going back to the previous play when they intercepted. Featherstone's skill is not in question. It's simply the maturity. I mean, it has been all game, because even they're trying to be too expansive in these weather conditions, and that ball out there, it's like a bar of soap. So I mean, the fact is, it's very difficult, and as York have words with the referee, but that's what Featherstone have to do here. Unless they resolve this, I mean, it's going to be a very long second half.
It is. I noticed Luke Cooper went straight into the dressing room when he came off the field. I don't think it's an injury. I think it's just to keep warm. I don't know.
Wise decision. I would say out there, in terms of decision making, that is an issue for Featherstone now as they bring the ball out from the scrum. Farrell again being that outside man just on the shoulder of Ridyard. He manages to break free, can't find a man on the inside of him. Wildy though will be at the foot of the ruck now. He's looking to his left. Talapapa there on the outside. York going back in for afters, but Farrell does get the ball played. Wildy sends it into Wheeldon.
So Wheeldon plays the ball 22 metres away from that York City Knights line. Wildy lays it off to Sam Brooks. Sam Brooks taking it forward towards the 10. Ball is played, and it comes now to Frankie Mariano. He's driving forward towards those posts. He must be inches short there. Wildy with the ball from dummy half. It's good defence by York, but he manages to get the ball away to Holmes, who puts the kick in for Hardcastle to chase. York put it dead. Yeah, and it's going to be a dropout.
Yeah, I think it was Connor Robinson knocking that one dead, but Wildy, very good recovery player there. I mean, the ball came out. I don't think he was going to go for the line at in half, following Mariano being a battering ram there. But no, good recovery play, good grubber kick there, and Robinson putting it dead, using his intelligence and maturity to do the right thing. But hopefully Featherstone, they can really capitalise here as they come back for another wave of attack.
Good positive play by Featherstone Rovers, and completing that set, gaining yet another set of 6 from this dropout. So it comes out, it scoots along this very wet turf to the halfway with Matty Wildy, and he finds Scott Wheeldon, who's going to take the ball forward. He makes a good 15 metres with that run, does Wheeldon. Comes out to the left. Driven forward by that man Connor Farrell. Again, had a good game this afternoon as Farrell. Now Ridyard shows it to a few players. It comes to Holmes, it comes to Hardman. Hardman dodges round Hay, but Hay manages to bring him down to the floor 15 metres out. John Davis in at dummy half, gets it to Holmes. Holmes now goes forward with Sam Brooks. Sam Brooks taking it forward. He's 8 metres away from that York line. Featherstone making progress, and they're actually making even more progress here because the referee said clear the ruck and the York players didn't. So Featherstone get a penalty.
You can see Featherstone's pressure there paying off, forcing York into those mistakes. Wildy now with the tap.
Wheeldon, I think it is, that takes it forward towards the try line underneath the post. Wildy in at dummy half, gets it to Holmes. There's players lining up on this right hand side for Featherstone, but the York defence is secure.
They jumped up there on the outside, cut off the Ridyard's options.
Comes now to Holmes in the middle of the field. He shows it and takes it forward, but gets pulled to the floor, gets pushed to the floor once again, and the referee says, I'm not having that. That is a penalty once again against York.
A relieving penalty, I would say, actually, for York in a way. I know they're giving it away, but Featherstone were getting the momentum there, and Sam Brooks takes it in now, but they were getting the momentum there, and York, I think, were thankful that momentum was stopped as Featherstone launch another wave of attack here.
3 York players on Sam Brooks. They were doing a bit of a merry-go-round, spinning him around there, and it comes to this right-hand side to Holmes, and it's an interception.
It's Connor Robinson who's come away with the ball. He's got massive in support, but Briscoe's got too much pace, hauls him to the ground. A fantastic recovery from Luke Briscoe.
Trying to get the ball out to Hardcastle, they were there, Featherstone, and actually went straight into the arms of Connor Robinson, a very grateful Connor Robinson who raced away. Luke Briscoe did well to track back. Ash Robson now with the ball for the Knights. Takes it over halfway line. Robinson in at dummy half, and it comes into the middle there.
He's got blazing hair at the moment, Briscoe, but he blazed back there.
Very good. Matt Chilton it is with the ball, gets tackled on the 40. Normington in at dummy half, and now it comes into the middle of the field. We've got a York player out there with a no number on his back and a very white shirt.
Well, as Joe said earlier, that won't be white for long.
It won't. Just struggling with a few of the numbers here for the York players, but York on the last 25 metres out. It's coming to that man Delaney. He gets clattered after he puts the ball through, and it's gone into touch. I think Featherstone might have just put that into touch, so it could be a York scrum.
It won't be, Joe. It's going to be a penalty because there was a shoulder charge on Delaney afterwards. So
he got clattered.
Yeah, well, on the 10 metre, I mean, that's how you restart the play. When the ball goes out, it's where it ends up. It was within Fev's 10, so you go back to the 10, and that's the penalty. As York come back on the attack, but yeah. Silly play yet again, that bad. Very good kick, but very good kick for York on their behalf. But still, I mean, they could have just dealt with that. Could have been a scrum, but no, just a penalty. York come back on the attack again.
And they're just a couple of metres short of York here now. Featherstone leading 10 points to 6. 26 minutes remaining in this game, and York taking it towards the posts. Still, Featherstone defence is holding firm. Just need to make sure that the York are going to get it out wide here, and Featherstone defence does need to hold firm. They've got it out. It's the man with no number on his back with a blank white shirt that has scored for York City Knights. Not exactly sure who it is, but I just said that they needed to be careful out wide, Featherstone, with their defence, and York found the hole.
Well, he had no number on his back, and the Rovers defence hadn't numbered off against him. He was a man without a name, a man without a number, and a man that they couldn't find. He found his way through, found that gap, and it was well placed by York. They were effective in the way they got it across to him and found the way through.
Well, we could estimate who it is. I mean, we've seen on them old adverts why estimate that when you can be accurate. A little bit difficult here going by that, but I'll come back onto that as York. Well done to them, because what York did there, they weathered the storm against Featherstone. They turned defence into attack. Robinson with his interception, and then a penalty, and then a try. So, I mean, well done to York for weathering the storm there. And they're right back in this at 10-all as Connor Robinson looks to convert and put the City Knights ahead.
We think it was Matt Chilton who scored the try for York City Knights there. Connor Robinson does add the extras, so York go back into the lead in this game. It is Featherstone Rovers 10, York City Knights 12, 24 minutes remaining on the clock here at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
Well, Featherstone have dominated the territorial battle. They've had plenty of opportunities but squandered them. York have looked dangerous when they're down the other end by comparison, and ultimately that's what's seen them ahead on the scoreboard.
Well, just had news actually that Anthony Thackeray will not be returning there this evening. I mean, we've seen him down towards our left-hand side. He's fully dressed up now as another kick-off as well. They deal with this through Delaney. Oh, and Scott Wheeldon, no mercy, my son. But and there's definitely no mercy because Brad Delaney is flat out. And
I think I would be if Scott Wheeldon landed on me like that.
It was. I mean, a much bigger person. I mean, that was David versus Goliath, that one. But yeah, I'll just quickly go back onto Thackeray. He won't be returning this afternoon for in this game. I mean, we've seen him down to our left-hand side. He's all there, fully clothed now, and not in his playing kit. I would say sad to see, but why risk him when we've got Leeds Rhinos coming and then the season after that?
See, you don't know what we know, Joe. When Anthony Thackeray's at his best, he could play in a dinner jacket.
Oh, very good. And his slippers.
Well, never doubted his quality, Joe. Never doubted that.
So Delaney being in the wars, he had the shoulder charge up the other end, and now he's had a Wheeldon splash down on him, and really feeling it is the scrum half at the moment. York penned in their own half 20 metres away from their own line. The Featherstone defence up on them. They'll be keen to get the advantage back in this game, try to get some points back on the board. They won't want to go down to the first defeat of this 2018 campaign almost. I know it's not a league game, but certainly that's a great kick there by York, going for a 40-20. It was skidding along the turf. It's always well worth going for the 40-20s because they can skid into touch so easily, can't they, Joe?
It was Robinson again there, this time from the foot of the ruck. Ambitious, going for the 40-20 like that, but with no wingers back, definitely the right option. Robinson there, battling off the first defender, and real workhorse-like attack there.
And also with this breeze behind them as well, and the rain, your kicks are going to go further as well, and it's always worth employing.
Well, it's very intelligent play. There's a knock on by Luke Briscoe there, so York really are coming on the attack now, and well, I must say the better team, they're on top. But come back to Connor Robinson, he's really dictating play now with his kicking game's been fantastic, and just his leadership qualities as well. I mean, he's really getting stuck in, and he's proven to be quite the valuable signing from Halifax from last season, because I mean, well, as I say, he's just dominating play at the moment, and Featherstone, Martin Ridyard and Fev, they've just got no answer at the moment.
Briscoe looks injured down there. It could have been why he lost the ball, and that's the other thing about even just going for 40-20s. You're going to pen the opposing team back deep in their own half, and in these conditions you'll be hunting the mistake as well.
Definitely, and sides can't afford to drop back their wingers early to combat that, because when you're wanting to put so many men in the tackle and commit to it like that, stacking in your defenders, you've got to have all those players in the line right until the end of the set.
So we've got another stoppage in play just while Luke Briscoe is getting some attention from the Featherstone physiotherapist. He's okay to carry on though. York are going to get the scrum. About 38 metres away from the Featherstone line. They'll be looking to increase their lead in this game. 22 minutes remaining. This is Featherstone Rovers 10, York City Knights 12. Good defence by Featherstone there, though.
Good tackle on Hay.
Is that Richard Moore that's back on the field for Featherstone?
Just what you need, a figure like him, and at times like this, because Featherstone, they need a spark of magic from somewhere. Maybe the old judge can spark that into action.
Let's see if he can, and York taking it forward. They're 25 metres out now, slowly making progress towards that Featherstone line. Normington with the ball. 3 Featherstone Rovers defenders in attendance, but he still managed to sneak an extra few metres as he went down onto the floor. Good tackle coming in there by Tom Holmes. It's the last tackle for York, and they're going down that left-hand side. The kick goes into touch from Connor Robinson. Sensible play, really. Featherstone are going to have to put the scrum down 10 metres out from their own line.
Yep, still not a bad option from the Knights, and with the scoreboard the way it is, making sure that Featherstone have to go 90 metres of the field in conditions like this, it's not a bad idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, Connor Robinson just drilling that into touch again. I mean, if a man of the match could be chosen, I'm sorry to say this, but if a man of the match, a neutral one could be chosen, he would be the man at the moment. I mean, he's been fantastic for York, especially this second half. But there's plenty of time left. We've got over 20 minutes to go, and this is our wonderful sport of rugby league that can produce anything, and hopefully Featherstone can live up to expectation in the closing stages here.
Scott Wheeldon now with the ball. He's got 3 York players round him, put him to the floor. He plays the ball. It comes to Richard Moore, the other prop forward, driving it forward, pumping his legs. Featherstone having to do it tough, getting out of their own half. They're still 15 metres away even from the halfway line. It comes to Wheeldon, who lays it back off out the back door. This is better play by Featherstone until the ball went to ground there. A loose pass. You could see what they were trying to do, but just not able to execute it effectively. Luke Briscoe with the ball in hand. Maziva is on the tackle. John Davis taking it forward now. He drops the ball in the tackle. It's a knock on. York going to get the scrum. Ridyard throws the ball down in frustration. I think he's getting frustrated out there, the completion rate that Featherstone are executing now.
Yeah, it was another case again in that set of Featherstone having the right idea but just not being able to execute it. Ultimately though, they have got to try and keep being expansive, because this is a pre-season game. It's a game for preparation. It's not a game for preparation to play in weather like this. It's preparation for the rest of the season, and these are freak conditions.
There certainly are freak conditions, and it's such a shame that we have got these conditions as York spill the ball, but the referee gives a penalty against Featherstone Rovers. I think that was for offside.
Well, I think he's got that one right, Joe, because Richard Moore and Wilding, they were up in a flash and...
not standing square, I think it was.
Well, no disrespect to their fitness or anything, but I don't think either player is naturally that fast out of the block, so... Either way, I mean, another set to contend with here, and a big test of the Featherstone Rovers defence as York look to extend their lead here.
Yeah, York taking the ball forward, and yes, it is freak conditions, as we were saying, and it's not what John Duffy ideally would want a pre-season friendly to be played under. It's not like you're going to be able to practice any of your moves, really. It's a bit of a grunt of a game, isn't it? So York now taking the ball forward. They're inside the Featherstone 10, down in the muddy end of the field, coming across the line to the left hand side, passing it along, but Featherstone defence is good, and they're looking to slide the York player into touch. I think they do. No, the referee says, the touch judge says no, he's kept in the field of play, so well done the York player for preventing himself from going into touch, because he was on the slide down there. 10 metres out now, York. Comes to Delaney. Delaney drops the ball, though. It was just in front of him was the pass. He wasn't able to hang on, and Featherstone come up with it. It's a free play. Not sure there's been any advantage there, so the referee's going to bring it back for that knock-on by Delaney.
Yeah, York there facing the conditions, but ultimately they gave up possession in the right end of the field. They chose to be expansive once they were in the opposition 20, and that's why it happened.
Just while we've got this breaking play for the scrum, I think we ought to give a big shout out to Rob Purvis down there on the second camera. Sad face down there at the Post Office Road end. He's our man of the match this afternoon, isn't he? I mean, we're cold on the gantry, but goodness me, what's poor Robbie Purvis going to be like down there?
He's an unsung hero, Joe, for this club. I mean, fantastic dedication of him to be out there, but well done to Robbie. I mean, brilliant job, and Featherstone now coming back on the attack through Robinson again. I mean, just coming to Robinson there, Joe, he's really not been afraid, he's not been shy of the action in any way. I think he's had a good game as well, and furthermore, he's just won Featherstone another penalty.
York not clearing the ruck there. They were unable to play the ball cleanly, so the referees given the penalty to Featherstone Rovers. They put the kick to touch. The tap's going to be just short of halfway, with Matty Wildy, who has difficulty even catching the ball for the tap. Comes with Connor Farrell, who takes the ball forward. That's a great drive from him, takes it up to the 40, but the ball is stripped, and the referee gives yet another penalty to Featherstone, so they're going to go more metres up the field.
Featherstone now again a taste of what it's like to be piggybacked up the field with these penalties. Ridyard not taking a risk there with the kick to touch, but that's twice now. The ball's been sent back to someone, and they've just not been able to take it in, even for the kick to touch.
Having an issue here trying to get a hold of a ball from the ball boys. Eventually do. The ball's taken forward now. Featherstone are 20 metres out away from that line. They need to show a little bit of urgency, but also composure as it comes to Holmes. Holmes with a reverse pass to John Davis, who takes it up to the 10-metre line.
Well, must say quickly, Joe, that's more like it from Fev there. Good reverse play that, and a very good run by Davis, who nearly caught them off guard, and they might do so again here.
Featherstone Rovers almost over that try line. Wildy in at dummy half. Comes to Holmes. Holmes gives it again to John Davis, who takes it forward. It was Josh Hardcastle, sorry, yeah. And it comes out now to Ridyard, puts a little kick forward for Farrell to chase. It's a clash there. Not sure if the ball was got down. The referee says it was. That was a great chase, wasn't it, from that kick by Ridyard?
Fantastic chase from Farrell there. Ridyard just pokes the kick through, bobbling along the ground. We said those scrubber kicks would be effective in these conditions, and Farrell, he was favourite for it because he had such determination to go for that ball.
Well, we also must give another congratulations for Rob Berbis there, because he was right on the spot to get that one. And I'll tell you something, not only is he in the ring, but I mean he nearly ended up with both players colliding with him. So really he's in the walls today, Mr. Berbis down there, as are the players.
Well, the York player, he's down on the floor. I must admit, both players very brave there, chasing for that ball. Farrell and the York player, who's unfortunately injured because they both clattered each other. Farrell was the first to get that touchdown, that try. Ridyard now with the conversion attempt. It's successful, so Featherstone Rovers increase their lead. It's 16 points to 12 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
Yeah, there was no backing down there from either of those players going for the ball. Real bravery from the pair of them, just like the bravery from Purvis on the dead ball line. Mind you, at least he's got that face fungus to keep him warm.
That's it. Well, I don't. No beard on me.
I used to, I'll just say that. And we're just trying to get the kick-off going, but we've got a bit of a problem here, because I think it's a bit waterlogged, the central of the pitch there, as I think that's Ben Cockayne putting it on, and it is Ben Cockayne lining up the kick-off, but
put his kicking tee higher, he'll be fine.
As York get the full contingent of 13 men again, but yeah, there's that as well, and that's a deep kick-off from Cockayne, well caught by Tom Holmes, and here come Fev again, Joe.
Yeah, Featherstone taking it forward with Scott Wielden, the York player who was clattered by Farrell during the scoring of that try. He is back on his feet and back in to play as Richard Moore takes it forward now.
Ben Cockayne really showing how cold it is out there, because he's changed his Under Armour since the first half.
I thought you were going to say underwear then. Oh, how do you know?
I'm not privy to that information, Joe. Get on well with some rugby players, but not that one.
Connor Farrell, the double try scorer this afternoon with ball in hand, taking it forward now.
And also as well, Connor Farrell, he's a good contender for man of the match. He's been awesome today, try scoring and going forward as well. And that could have been another penalty there for Fev, yeah, on Matty Wildy. Now Richard Moore, the most unlikely acting half you'll ever see.
Scoot from dummy half by Richard Moore. Last tackle it is for Featherstone Rovers. Matty Wildy gets it to Tom Holmes, who's got some chasers on. He does well. He dodges round the first two, dodges round the second. He puts the kick in towards the post for the chase. Mazif kicks it dead. Good play by Featherstone Rovers.
Unbelievable off-the-cuff play from Ridyard. The York players, they jump up on him, expecting they can close down the tackle on the kick there. He steps through the pair of them. He's then got his eyes up, looking for options either side of him. Eventually finds the kick. There's that kick pressure there from the Rovers, making sure they're chasing. York have no choice but to put it dead.
So the dropout comes and doesn't go very far in this mud. It is Martin Ridyard who picks it up. He shows it and then goes to the floor with it 20 metres out. Martin Ridyard with the ball. Matty Wildy waiting patiently at dummy half, and he gets it to Scott Wielden, who takes it forward. He's 15 metres out away from that York line now. Featherstone looking to exert more pressure. The referee says to Scott Wielden, get up. He was looking for a penalty. It goes to Holmes, back to Wildy.
I think that's Brad Knowles taking it in there, Joe, but yeah, it could have been another penalty on Wielden, but danger's not over yet for Fev. They could score here.
Wildy at dummy half, he fancies it himself, he's going for it. I think he's held up over the line on his back there, so that'll be brought back to the 10 for a play the ball.
Yeah, it was unlucky there from Wildy. I don't blame him for trying that, because there was a nice little gap there that he could have gone into. He just landed the wrong way, otherwise it would have been try time.
So Knowles is going to receive this ball from Wildy. It comes out to Ridyard. Ridyard shows it and then gives it to Holmes. Holmes to Hardcastle. Hardcastle's wrapped up though by 4 York players. Gale it is waiting for the ball to be played, and he gets it back to Holmes. Holmes puts a little kick in there for John Davies to chase, but York ground it dead, so it is a dropout.
Featherstone's kick chase again and again up for it. You're seeing a bit like it was in the first half, that they're the fitter team, they're the ones that are keeping going towards the end of the game. York have gone with the short kick from the dropout and have been able to come away with it. Ben Cockayne there was the one who pounced. The Featherstone defence wasn't even set.
Well, I'll tell you something, Joe, that was brilliant play from York. You've got to commend them for that. Very inventive and very well spotted. I think it was Robinson with the kick and Cockayne. I mean, but that's their more experienced players, and I say well done to York for catching Featherstone off guard, must be said.
And Featherstone were caught off guard. It was a quick drop out and they weren't ready for it. Delaney with the ball now. He was going to look for a kick, but he didn't get it away.
Martin Ridyard wanna be there with his step after the kick.
What wannabe? That could be. Don't let him hear you say that, Joe.
So 10 minutes remaining in this game, and the kick comes through. Ian Harman's there deep at the back to take it. He brings that ball forward over the 30-metre line and plays it. Gareth Gale there wanting to get a piece of the action. Not seen a lot of Gareth Gale this afternoon. Frankie Mariano comes back on the pitch for John Davis.
Robinson there coming in looking for more work, gets hit with a big shot then, but keeps that leg drive going forward. Short and squat mind just to keep going forward all the time. Good work from the winger.
Connor Farrell once again with the ball. He's been a workhorse this afternoon. He's got through a lot of work, certainly in attack with the ball in hand. Driving, making metres forward. It comes now to Ridyard. Ridyard misses Wielden out, goes to Holmes. It goes inside to Hardman. That's great play by Featherstone. 10 metres out. It's the last tackle. Wildy waiting at dummy half. Comes to Holmes. He's waiting for it, and he puts the ball out to Ridyard, who juggles off. And it goes to Farrell. Farrell's going for his hat-trick. He drops the ball over the line, I do believe, so it's not going to be a hat-trick for Farrell there.
Oh, I must say, I mean, that was a brilliant last-ditch tackle there. I thought Connor Farrell, for all money, was going to go in for his hat-trick, but never mind. I mean, I'll tell you something, that was a carbon copy, it's got to be said, of the 2016 Challenge Cup final of Danny Houghton on Ben Curry. I mean, it was a very similar one, going over the line, all money's going to score, but who knows, it's a knock-on, and they'll come away with it, will York?
The Coddard getting the Hull reference in there in the game.
Well, I mean, Joe, can you blame him? I mean, Heartland, I know this is Featherstone, but I've got to, because, I mean, it was a carbon copy.
So York with the putting at the scrum, 10 metres away from their own line. Featherstone will be hunting the mistake here as Maziv is there with the ball. 2 Featherstone players in attendance.
It's not Fevland, it's the LD Nutrition Stadium. Pay respect to the sponsors.
That's my apologies there.
So like I say, Featherstone will be hunting the mistake here. It's awful conditions out there, and Featherstone defence is good at the moment. 15 metres out York, they've not made much progress, and that's a great tackle by Featherstone there. Can't quite see who the player was. It was Brad Knowles. Who else? He's such a tough tackler, isn't he, when he sets his mind to it, and he's chasing down the York player again.
Featherstone playing their former captain Tim Spears. He was a real workhorse in defence, and Knowles is the man who's looked to replace him for me. There with that challenge on the kicker, putting pressure on him, and Ian Hardman now, the current Rovers captain, is going to
give it a penalty. Giving a penalty against Brad Knowles for that challenge, unfortunately.
It was late. I thought he'd got away with it.
So did I as well, but the referee said no. And the unfortunate thing as well is a penalty where the ball lands, isn't it? So you're going to get this 35 metres away from that Featherstone line, so it's going to be good pressure for them here.
Well, but just more twists and turns in this snow shower or rain shower tonight. So, but yeah, York, I mean, they could be seeking a late winner here, perhaps, because I mean, it's just what they need. Featherstone were well on top, and then this could be a pivotal turning point as York look to come through here.
16 points to 12. Featherstone Rovers leads. 6 minutes left in this game, and the kick comes through. Can't quite see who it is who's taken it. It could be a York player.
Yeah, I think it's a knock on here by Sean Robinson.
Okay.
And yeah, the referee's
York get the put in. Thank you, Joe.
Well, it's such a shame that, because I thought Robinson did really well to get back to that, because he had to turn and the York players were chasing him down. There was Ben Cockayne out there who was putting a lot of pressure on him. I thought he did well, but sadly just couldn't come up with the ball. I mean, no disrespect to him, because it is very difficult conditions, but such a shame. But hopefully Featherstone can weather the storm here in more ways than one.
Nice pun. 10 metres out then, York are from that Featherstone line. They'll be looking for the late winner as we go into the last 6 minutes of the game. It's going down the middle towards the post. Brad Knowles in there with a great tackle once again tackling like a man possessed. Delaney with the ball, gets it out, but the ball's spilt on the floor. Richard Moore picks it up, gets it back to Featherstone Rovers player out there. So Featherstone 10 metres away from their own line.
Wildy then the one playing the ball home, sends it to the right. Hardcastle's got to be the man to bring it out. Plenty of York men in attendance, though he might just have find his front.
Frankie Mariano now taking the ball forward. 4 York players around him. Takes some putting down, does Mariano, but eventually he's hauled to the floor. He gets up, Wildy in at dummy half, gets it to Rich Moore.
I was going to say, Joe, York are really getting into them now. I mean, they're really going for a late showdown in these last 5 minutes here, and you never know. I mean, there still could be a few tricks up their sleeve if Featherstone continue to work the ball away.
Brad Knowles now with the ball. He tries to get to his feet to play it quickly. That's a good play, the ball by Brad Knowles. And Ridyard now with the kick. He puts the ball into touch. The scrum will be set 32 metres away from that York line. Not a bad ploy by Martin Ridyard there. He perhaps would have been looking for a little deeper kick for the scrum to be set deeper in the York half, but still not at this stage of the game with 3 minutes left, nearly 4 minutes, sorry. It's not a bad thing to do.
Yeah, once he sends it deep, but that angle's not going to be as tight. It's going to be bouncing along the floor longer before it finds the touch line, and ultimately that gives it more chance to hold up. York though going with the early kick. Robinson's looking to find a 40-20. It's gone just short for me, and sure enough the touch judge agrees. Very close though.
Well, I wouldn't say it was very close, Joe. They're 10 metres short. That is the third.
Yeah. No, I've realised I can't see that 10 metre line at all now. It's been completely eroded away by those footsteps. It would be a massive 10 though.
I'll tell you something though, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen a kick like that sooner, because, I mean, kick from the scrum base, it can always, I mean, obviously Featherstone's defence was all set in the defensive line, no one at home back there, so, yet again, more inventive play that from Robinson, didn't come off for him, and thankfully Fev will work the ball away, but York, they'll perhaps get one last chance in these last 3 minutes, so Fev, they've got to remain on the alert.
They do need to remain alert, and they need to keep hold of the ball. Ian Harmon trying to get to his feet there. Connor Farrell now taking it forward.
It'd have been a 40-20 on the old pitch.
Yes, pre-new stand days, pre-extension. So the ball's taken forward now by Featherstone Rovers. They get into the York half.
Yeah, but once again, Sean Robinson, very good hard work, who wasn't liking the intentions in the tackle there, but once again, very good work there by the winger, who has lost his number for his troubles.
Wildy now gets it to Richard Moore. Richard Moore taking it forward. That's a great drive forward from Moore. He was looking to offload, thought better of it, perhaps wise in these conditions as well, and he did have York players in attendance. It's the last tackle. Wildy going from dummy half. He's seen a gap. Wildy gets hold to the floor though, and it is a turnover 5 metres away from the York line. Not a bad place to turn the ball over, and I can understand why Wildy went for that.
Yeah, York met by 2 very different propositions from Featherstone, showing the versatility they have in their threats. The real warrior of Richard Moore running against them, battling against their forwards, and then the nimble Wildy looking to nip around them, find his way through, was very close to doing so.
1.5 minutes remaining in this game here, the pre-season friendly between Featherstone Rovers and York City Knights. Featherstone just edging this game by 16 points to 12 at the moment, and York are from their point of view, they are at the wrong end of the field. 15 metres away from the line as the kick comes through from York and bounces towards is it Robinson out there, who picks it up, taking it forward, and very distinctive from Sean Robinson has, even in the muddy conditions out there. We can still see who it is, and Gareth Gale, there's no mistake in him, the tall, rangy player that Gareth Gale is, and now sporting his hair colour. We definitely know who's out there. Josh Hardcastle now taking it forward. So that's a double Featherstone Lions attack from Featherstone Rovers. 15 metres out now.
I was going to say, John, the previous player Robinson did very well, and he's such a difficult player to put down, but as is this guy, as is his juggernaut Richard Moore, as Featherstone look for a last hurrah here.
So Featherstone on the 10, it comes to Tom Holmes, he lays it off, and Mariano's going for the line under the post. He's in. Mariano gets a late try for Featherstone Rovers. That brings them up to 20 points to 12.
Well, it is. I mean, it was fantastic play that, Joe. I mean, a great drop-off pass there. Mariano, I mean, forget Richard Moore even there. Was he true juggernaut in Mariano? I mean, there was no stopping him. And Featherstone with a late try there to seal this friendly victory here and to make it 3 from 3. So very good stuff from them. A last hurrah here.
It is, and no doubt it comes to Tom Holmes. He lays it off, and Mariano's going for the line under the post. 2 points to 12. I'd imagine that the hooter will sound after this conversion attempt is made.
Martin Ridyard does make that kick successfully to seal the score. Featherstone Rovers win this fixture 22 points to 12. The players out there shaking hands. The fans all cheering their players off because that York team, credit to them, they put on a real battle here against the Rovers, but Featherstone, in the end, that clash shone through and they were too strong.
Featherstone Rovers players going up to those brave Featherstone Rovers fans that have turned out in these atrocious conditions this afternoon at the LD Nutrition Stadium. In the second half, we saw the first try from Chilton for York and Robinson converted it. That put York back into the lead by 12 points to 10. But then Featherstone, they managed to get the points back with that Farrell try, his second try of the afternoon. Ridyard converted it to make it 16 points to 12. And then we saw Frankie Mariano going over on the stroke of full time. He got that try under the post, which Ridyard converted. Final score here at the LD Nutrition Stadium is 22 points to 12. So we're going to go down, get a warm, go into the press room. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen on that live broadcast, exclusively live from the LD Nutrition Stadium this afternoon. Next game, the last pre-season friendly, is against Leeds Rhinos here on Friday night. That won't be shown on the video on Rovers TV, so if you want to see the action, come down to the LD Nutrition Stadium. Thank you for joining us all this afternoon, and from me, Joe, and Joe, goodbye.